Good Wednesday morning, September 2nd, 2020. This is Guy McPherson of Nature Bats Last, which you can find at guymcpherson.com. Here this morning with a few headlines and an indication of the stock market as it opens in the United States. All right, so here we are. It's nearly 9:30 in the morning Eastern Time, and the first headline, in fact, the first few headlines are from yesterday. This one from after the close at Barron's. Can we call it a stock market bubble yet? Actually asking the question and answering repeatedly in the article with evidence that, of course, we're in a bubble, and then the comment, but it's not a bubble, over and over, because we won't admit to a bubble. From MarketWatch, along the same lines, also from yesterday, the pros are getting ready for a market crash. Retail investors, not so much, top economist warns. So it seems like we're in a bubble that's headed for a crash, but who am I to say? From the Federalist, economic collapse is imminent if we can't stop our deficit spending spree. Really? That's how we create money, is by creating debt. That's the way the system has always worked in this country. You think we're going to suddenly give up on debt? You think we don't care about an economic collapse? Economic corrections, as they are called, have occurred many times throughout history, and I suspect the people pulling the strings of empire are expecting this next one to be just another correction. But the headline is correct. Economic collapse, meaning no more dollars having any more value. Economic collapse is imminent if we can't stop our deficit spending spree. And that's one of several factors that could cause the demise of the United States dollar. Look for that coming soon to a neighborhood near you. Locally, from the Miami Herald, and changing the topic a little bit to something a bit more rooted in reality, the ongoing coronavirus crisis. From the Miami Herald yesterday, Quest data dump raises new questions about whether COVID data is underreported. Of course it is. Of course the COVID data are underreported, not is underreported. Can nobody write a headline anymore? Can nobody actually write English who works as a so-called journalist? Data be plural, folks. Quest data dump raises new concerns about whether COVID data is underreported. Well, they got that part right. The COVID data are being underreported. There is little question about that. Axios, the childcare industry is collapsing under the strain of the pandemic. And as the childcare industry goes, so goes the economy in general. Collapse is underway and will undoubtedly be complete soon, taking with it habitat for humans throughout the world, and therefore habitat for all life on Earth. I know it's inconvenient. I don't even like saying it myself, but that's where we're headed. Brace for impact. From this morning, the Wall Street Journal, how's the coronavirus economy? Great or awful, depending on whom you ask. Yeah, there are some organizations that are doing great. Zoom comes to mind. But for the most part, those of us on Main Street are not doing so swift, are we? Because we aren't making as much money as we used to. There's disposable income has gone down the drain, and there's 1,000 other factors that come into play here. As an example, Macy's swings to a loss, but shares rise. How does that happen? Macy's is losing money because nobody can shop there anymore, because we're not going out, because we're smarter than that, because coronavirus cases and deaths have been underreported. I think I covered that part. In any event, from CNBC, Macy's swings to a loss, but shares rise as stronger than expected online growth boosts sales. Wow, the insanity never ends here in the land of my birth. Well, never so far, but it will at some point, I promise. And so, where are we at in light of all that horrible news from an economic perspective? Of course, the stock markets are uniformly up. 9:31 a.m. Eastern time with a 30-minute lag since the open. And the Dow Jones is up 120, NASDAQ's up 100, and S&P 500 is up 16 points. So there you go. Bad news, good news, doesn't seem to matter. It's all good news for the stock market, no matter how bad it is. Did I just confuse myself again?